Welcome back. Today we'll be in search for Nevada State historical markers numbers 236 to 240. So let's go ahead and start off in Virginia City. Located at 12 North B Street is a fully restored and functioning opera house where still today theatrical performances, concerts, and non-profit events still take place. Right next to the bar entrance is going to be our first marker in this series. So let's take a look at marker number 236, Piper's Opera House. Piper's Opera House. This building, the most significant vintage theater in the West, was erected by John Piper in 1885, third in a succession of theaters which he operated on the Comstock. Piper's Opera House, with its original scenery, rake stage, and elegant proscenium boxes, is a remarkable survivor of a colorful era in American theatrical history. Many popular 19th century touring stars and concert artists appeared here. Nevada State Historical Marker number 236. Now, let's travel 107 miles south to Hawthorne. Located at 520 East 5th Street is the Elks Lodge number 1704 and our next marker. Marker number 237, Carson and Colorado Railroad Freight Depot. Carson and Colorado Railroad Freight Depot. This building, the first to be constructed in Hawthorne, is the remnant of the narrow-gauge Carson and Colorado Railroad built south from Mound House in 1881. Railroad officials created the town from desert when the first lots were auctioned off on April 14, 1881. The line was subsequently extended into Owens Valley, California, and service to Hawthorne came to an end when the town was bypassed in 1905. In later years, the building served as a general store, a bar, and restaurant with a bingo parlor and a banquet hall, until acquired by the Hawthorne Elks Lodge in 1946. Nevada State Historical Marker number 237. Heading back to Reno now, we find ourselves in South Reno on South Virginia Street. Located at 9825 South Virginia Street is Wiley Brothers Firearms. In front of this elegant two-story house is our next marker. Marker number 238, Huffakers. Huffakers. Before the arrival, 1858, of Granville W. Huffaker, driving 500 head of cattle into the Truckee Meadows, the principal settlers were Mormons. The Comstock lode and its mining needs focused attention on the valley. Huffaker established his ranch in 1859. Langton's stage line and the first post office were functioning by 1862. For 10 years, Huffaker's was a most active stage stop and a center for a community. The schoolhouse was constructed in 1868. Bachelors of a jolly nature gathered here for dancing, horse racing, and land squabbles. The Athenian Literary Society flourished for the more cultured. In 1875, the Bonanza Kings completed their Pacific lumber and flume operation from Lake Tahoe Basin. For 15 miles, trestled logs were propelled by waters rushing faster than any train. At the terminus of the flume, the Virginia and Truckee Railroad opened a depot and a telegraph office and constructed a spur where workers transferred timber. Nevada State Historical Marker number 238. So now, let's get on to Interstate 80 and travel east. About halfway between Winnemucca and Battle Mountain is exit 212, Stonehouse. Located at the eastbound off-ramp is our next marker. Marker number 239, Stonehouse. Stonehouse. Native Americans and passing immigrants once camped here, and the Stonehouse was erected in the 1860s by officials of the Overland Stage Company as a dining and overnight rest stop. The Central Pacific Railroad line passed through this section of Humboldt County in 1868, and the nearby springs provided water for engines. A small community flourished here for a number of years to serve the needs of railroaders and neighboring ranchers, and a post office operated here from November 1890 to March 1915. Nevada State Historical Marker number 239. Turning around again, let's head back to Reno. Located on the corner of East 4th Street and Galletti Way is where we'll discover our next marker. Marker number 240, Coney Island. Coney Island. Opened to the public on June 20th, 1909, Coney Island was among the most elaborate amusement parks of its day. Otto G. Benschutz, founder and owner, landscaped the grounds, put in a children's playground, a bandstand for outdoor concerts, and a dance pavilion which also served as a skating rink and theater. Coney Island also had an artificial lake complete with boats, covered landings, and bathhouses. The park's heyday passed with Benschutz's death in 1912. An aircraft assembly plant occupied the site in the early 20s, and an auto court was established here later. The pavilion was destroyed by fire in 1927, and a second blaze in 1930 took other structures. All the remaining buildings were torn down when Interstate 80 was constructed in the 1960s. Nevada State Historical Marker, number 240.